I'd like to call this Monday, July 25th, 2022, regular Beacon City School District Board meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Kelly.
Ms. Flynn?
Excused.
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Ms. Heath?
Here.
Ms. Bush?
Here.
Mr. Singh?
Here.
Mr. White?
Excused.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
Stadler?
Excused.
Ms. Hewitt?
Here. Thank you. Matt, can you review the fire exits?
Exits are in the back of the LGI.
Thank you. We are not having a workshop tonight, so could I please have a motion to adjourn to executive session to review the employment history of a particular individual, and the board will return in about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Anthony?
Yep.
Second by Eunice, thank you. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm also in favor, so it's passes 6-0. Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you for your patience. Reviewing the agenda, there are a few changes. 12.04, non-instructional personnel, D1, E3, and E4. 12.05, instructional personnel, B1, I1, S1 through 5, U1, and V1. Are there any parent groups or school presentations? Seeing none. Matt, do you have a report?
Yeah, I just have some quick updates for everyone. First, I want to offer congratulations publicly to our assistant superintendent, who we can now refer to as Dr. Rudicindo O'Neill. She successfully defended her dissertation last week. And it's just super exciting, and all I do is just call her doctor all the time now. And but you know, those who've been through it know all of like the absolute tedious work that goes into that, and so congratulations. And I just want to take a minute to highlight, we have so much going on this summer. We have an elementary summer program happening here at the high school. It was 2 weeks. They're having their week off right now, and then another 2 weeks. They're going to be servicing around 400 students total, along with lessons in reading and math and some content. They're doing some enrichment trips. Last week, they went to the Culinary Institute of America for a really interactive day. So that's been really cool. We have been just reminding folks, we have been using still some of the American Rescue Plan money to fund these wonderful summer opportunities. And it's really, I personally know some kids who are in the program. They're friends of my son, and so they've been raving about it. So I know it's been going really well. Rombout also has a similarly scheduled summer program where they had a 2-week experience. This is their week off. Then they have another 2 weeks. The Rombout program servicing 200 kids in the first session, then another 200 kids in next session. So that is like 2/3 of the school is getting the summer enrichment. And so they're really focused on enrichment. And the highlight of the first session was the group went to see the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, and had a really cool trip. And the second session group, their big cultural enrichment experience, they're going to see a Broadway play, and so that program is getting rave reviews. Here at the high school, we have around 100 students who are doing credit recovery this summer and working really hard. The opportunity to retake Regents tests is later in August, and so we have a large number of students really working at all levels here in the district this summer, and it's been really cool just to see all the creativity and energy go into the summer work. It's impressive and really motivational, and it's been a really nice way for our students to connect. We also have had just a few really exciting professional development opportunities planned for our administrative group. Tomorrow we have an award-winning print. So we're doing all of this through Duchess Bosi. So we're going to have other people in the county joining us for these experiences. We have an award-winning principal and kind of motivational speaker working with the principals tomorrow, or the whole administrative group tomorrow. Remind me of his name. And he's the principal of Port Jervis High School, and he has a book, and so we're really excited about that. We have a lot of kind of smaller, sort of almost more biz school business focused trainings this summer, and then later in August we're again working with Duchess Bosi's on this and other school districts to help make it more affordable. But Louvel Brown from Ithaca is coming to work on developing plans around equity and inclusivity in schools and school districts. So we're really excited about that. And that's all I have to offer, but it has been a super busy summer and very exciting and learning focused.
Thank you. Committee reports and board comments. Craig?
No comments.
Thank you. Anthony?
Good evening. Congratulations, Doctor. The policy committee, I believe, is scheduled for the August 1st, right? 7 p.m.
Third, actually.
Oh, is that a? I'm sorry. Yes. Is that a?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, not a Monday.
Correct.
Okay.
That was, I think that worked for Eunice, you, me, and Flora.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that was a Monday. I'll make it work.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's going to be on Zoom if that helps.
Okay.
Does Monday work for everybody else? No?
No, we'll keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my fault. Sorry, misread the calendar. Can we get the draft policies?
We are putting them together. We were going to send them to the committee by Wednesday to give you a week.
Okay. All right.
We have a policy in the PPS realm. We have a policy about foreign exchange students, because we have a family that's working with the Japanese program to bring a student here. We have some kind of minor tweaks to the code of conduct. We also may want to slightly tweak, even though we know you just passed it, but we may want to slightly tweak the school bus policy, so we have maybe some room to make some adjustments to bus routes and stuff.
Okay.
So we should. Most of those are already done. I'm trying to get some of the code changes done. We'll get them to you by Wednesday, the end of the day.
Okay. And you mentioned at the last meeting that you're restructuring diversity.
Yeah, we just started talking about it, and I'll be able to talk more in August about it, but we're still going to have working groups. One of the things SAGI's wants to work with one of the working groups on is developing a district equity policy, and then still working on the curriculum part of it, but we just need a little bit more time to finalize the structure, and so in August we'll be ready.
Part of that, there was one subgroup that I don't know ever didn't move forward because maybe there wasn't enough people on there or something like that, but there was the one where we were trying to diversify the teaching staff or something like that. So is that?
I'll probably take that one this year coming up, and so that's my bad that it didn't get going as much. But the other ones developed some good momentum. Heather's going to work with one of the groups too, so we haven't had a ton of time together.
No,
I made this terrible mistake and took a vacation.
No, it's been a business.
And so I need just a little bit more time to get it all straight.
No, I'm
just teasing you, Anthony.
Not admonishing you. Just trying to get on the radar.
Yeah.
What are the
Yeah.
What are the expectations?
We're close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Eunice?
No comment.
Alina?
No comment.
John?
No comment.
And congratulations, Saggy. That's wonderful news. I wanted to mention to everyone, I've been trying to do this. I'm also a little bit behind, but I'm going to send out a doodle poll for a retreat, hopefully in September or early October. I probably will just give Monday nights. I'll give a couple choices, but I feel like Monday nights is sort of works for everyone because they've cleared the other Monday nights for board meetings. This will be a 3-hour retreat, And what we've talked about so far, but I'm open to suggestions. Please, let me know if this doesn't sound good to you. To talk, we have 2 new members, so to talk about the role of board member with this book, How Not to Be a Terrible Board Member, as a reference, which I guess is coming to us soon, coming to your mailbox soon, and then resolutions and advocacy issues. So it will probably be guided by a Nisba representative this year, which we haven't done in the past and might be nice. So look out for that. And please try to answer it. I will try to do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Meredith, I have a suggestion or question. I mean, should they survey us before the retreat so that at least some questions that we will go over at the would kind of guide the discussion a little more?
Yeah, I mean they usually, in the past, that has happened with some of the moderators. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have certain things, obviously let me know, because I can, when I'm talking to them to set it up, I can let them know.
Nothing comes to mind at the moment, but
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I think the first part would be sort of a pretty basic, things we've talked about before, but that never get old, about what to do when you walk, you run into somebody in the supermarket. And
Do we want to go over that handbook thing again or no?
can. I mean, why don't I see what they suggest,
Okay.
and then, we'll have a little time to formulate it before it happens. I want to get a date on the calendar, because I know it's hard and September's busy.
Sure.
So let's
sure,
do
sure.
that first, and we'll work backwards from there.
Sure.
Okay, so next on the agenda, we have 3 Nisba resolutions. 2 of them we actually approved last year, so they're on more to remind people and to introduce them to the new board members. The first one is, and so these resolutions go to Nisba, New York State School Boards Association, and they have this day in October where they talk about resolutions that have been submitted from across the state and vote on which ones become their lobbying issues. So the ones we put in were, or want to put in, are school start time, just talking about how a statewide mandatory later start time for high school would be so beneficial for students. The next one is a board member stipend. Well, I think we all acknowledge this would be very small. I think it would be really helpful in terms of diversifying our board, cover maybe babysitting costs or just the very small things that make it really hard for someone to decide to be a board member. And then the third is just a rewritten version of the request for funding for climate change initiatives that we approved, I don't know, a few board meetings ago. Are there any questions about these? Can I have a motion to approve the 3 resolutions on the agenda?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anthony, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm also in favor. It passes 6-0. And so Kelly, will you submit them or? Okay, great. Thank you so much. So next we have a refunding bond resolution. Anne-Marie, do you want to talk just very briefly about this?
So, years ago, we did receive a bond from the Dormitory Authority, so there is a possibility with a pool of other districts for us to refund 1 or 2 of the bonds we had with Dormitory to actually save money, and this is probably a little bit more significant cost savings across the term of the bond. The only concern really going forward is the interest rate. As the interest rate climbs, the amount of money we would save is smaller. And we cannot do this unless there's a significant savings that we can prove to the IRS. So it's coming to you now. We'd ask the board to vote on it. If for some reason it can't possibly work based upon the cost savings, then I would let the board know there's no obligation to do this, but it gives the authority for us to be in the pool of other districts to save money.
How is it that other districts were involved? We've done this in the past when it was just our dime, right?
Because it's a dormitory authority refunding, so any districts that did borrowings with the dormitory authority, we have not done them in a very long time. I know if you work in a special act district, your only ability is to go through the dormitory authority. So there's a pool, there's a list of districts. Our bond counsel is working with some of them, our financial advisors are working with some of them. So as a pool, some will not have as much cost savings as Beacon. This was significant for us to even look at. But depending on what happens with the rate and when we actually go out to bond, will determine. And again, the IRS is definitely looking at that. So if it's not beneficial to the taxpayers, they don't allow us to do that.
Well, obviously, right now, the trend of interest rates is up.
Yes.
What have we seen in terms of any kind of recent changes? Do you have any kind of intel as to what lies ahead and how long it is before this goes out?
I think that's the biggest question. I don't think anyone knows that. I do know that our financial advisors are watching. I do have a meeting with them later in the week. They'll be in the area to know that. I'm hoping, we're hoping that the interest rates are at the highest that they are. But again, we don't know that for sure. But we wanted to investigate this as a potential cost saving going forward.
Sure.
For the board, and if not, I can let you know if it doesn't happen, but at least it gives us the authority to move forward if the board approves the refunding resolution.
Any other questions?
So, I mean, from the calculations, it does look like it saves us quite a bit of money, $700-something thousand projected. So, I mean, is there a reason why? But the way what you just said is that it depends on how much it's saving the taxpayer. I'm a little confused.
There has to be a certain cost benefit.
It's kind of like when you get a mortgage, you don't know exactly what your rate's going to be until you lock in.
Yeah.
So this is sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like getting everything in order, but when it finally gets approved, we won't know what the actual savings is until then. Because the interest rate fluctuates, unfortunately trending in a certain direction right now.
Yeah. But with $700,000 savings, we don't know if it's going to be. I mean, it sounds like that's a considerable savings to us. Wouldn't that be considerable savings to the taxpayer?
So my understanding
Yeah.
is that it's a pool, because it's a dormitory. It's not like the other refunding bonds where we were the only party. So since it's a pool, it has to be all of the districts together. And there's specific rules that the IRS will look at to see. And again, everything, that is net savings. So as the interest rate increases, you still have the fees that are all involved in actually doing refunding. So you have the financial advisor, the legal counsel. So you have to make sure that it is beneficial. We happen to be a district that has more cost savings than other districts in the pool.
And
It's a little more complicated than just doing a regular refunding bond.
if we're the only school that wants to do it and the other schools districts do not,
I don't believe we have a choice, but I can ask that very question and let you guys know that. I can ask the financial advisors. I have not been party to a dormitory authority refunding before.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit different format. Obviously, we've done refunding bonds and we've been really happy with the results. We were able to save money going forward. But this one's it's structured a little bit differently. So I can ask the question and let you know.
all right.
Follow up. So this is it DASNY, the Dormitory Authority,
Yes.
that issued the bonds?
Correct.
And we have a tranche of that or a slice of it, right?
Yes, one of our
Can do
older
this.
bonds, we had actually gone through the dormitory authority.
Okay.
So yes.
So they have to be the one to pull the trigger and decide when to pull it, right? In
I
terms
think
of,
ultimately the IRS is the defining factor. I mean, they have to give the blessing, and there has to be, a bunch of hoops. This is a little, it's a lot more complicated than a normal refunding.
sure, there's a whole bunch of school districts. We know approximately how many?
I don't. I can.
So, but even if there's more than a handful, they all have different meeting dates, right? And it's summertime, so I'm wondering if part of the problem is that they have to get answers from everybody to whom this has been offered.
Right.
And that might take a few weeks, and things are moving slow at this time of year. Some people take off,
So,
but-
things are moving slow at the board, but the interest rate is moving fast, so it's kind of like.
That's moving faster than bureaucracy. That's my
Yes.
worry.
So you need, this idea was started prior to the rate increase, the interest rate being increased. So, it's been kind of a wait and see. But, we were told by both financial advisor and bond counsel, get the resolution passed, gives you the ability to move forward, and then we can take it from there.
The only good news I can see there is that basically we have got interest rate curve inversion and some of the long money, 10 years plus, seems to be going down, whereas the short money is going up. So we might luck out.
I hope so. It'd be nice to have more cost savings going.
It would be.
Could I please have a motion to approve the proposed refunding bond resolution 072522D?
So moved.
Second.
Anthony, second by Craig. This is a roll call vote, so Kelly, do you mind doing it? Mr. Galloway?
So I'm
Just say if you're in favor or not.
and this is of,
So this is for the bond to approve the proposed bond so that they can move forward with seeing if it will work out for us.
okay, so yay. Thank you.
Yes, favor.
Ms. Bush?
Yes.
Mr. Hussain?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Hewitt?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have the consent agenda, which I don't have the language up. Hang on a second.
Reason for the consent agenda, so save time.
The use of the consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of its time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included. Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate, and that item will be considered and voted on separately, thus preserving the right of all board members to be heard on any issue. Are there any items that any board members would like to have pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately?
12.09.
Anything else? Okay, can I have a motion to approve 12.01 through 12.23 less 12.09?
So moved.
Anthony, is there a second? Second. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm also in favor, passes 6-0.
Motion to approve 12.09.
Katie, sorry, Katie, congratulations. Yay. Sorry to interrupt you,
Sorry.
Anthony. Thank you.
So motion to approve 12.09, the auction sale.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
So the questions I have is, there are a bunch of passenger cars that say they're not structurally safe as school vans. They're cars, right? So are they structurally safe to be sold to the public?
Structurally, she was doing a comparison to a school bus or a school van. So meaning a passenger car just has the Beacon City School District sign on the side, whereas a bus is yellow, it has lights, it picks up. So that's more of her comment. The cars that are on this list we purchased a long time ago, there was a different mindset at the time, but it has given some struggles. It only transports one child to a location, so if you have two children going to out-of-district placement, you can't use the car. If you have a bus monitor and a driver that have to be in the car with a student, it's kind of cramped. It's not ideal for a longer trip, so the van is better. So it doesn't speak to the structural soundness of the vehicle. They're all fine. In fact, in this market, we believe putting them on auction would actually generate some revenue for us because used cars are very hard to come by. Yeah, so we're hoping that that's the case. We're going to keep one or two of them, but we've kind of changed our mindset over the years and purchased more vans and buses than cars. So now's the time for us to sell them.
Thank you. And then my second question is, so the first two items they're not the full-size buses, they're the vans, right? So I thought at one of the budget meetings we talked about trying the auction for the buses.
The big buses.
The big buses, yes.
So Deb did some research, and on auction, they're not collecting, and obviously with auction, you don't have to accept it, but she's been talking to other transportation supervisor, and there's not a market for big buses. We would be better off trading them into the company where we're purchasing the new buses and getting, like like a rebate or, a credit, because then they use those buses for parts or other things. The aftermarket on a big bus is not what it used to be.
Okay. I mean, I don't have enough to debate that research, so. Okay.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm also in favor. Passes 6-0. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Can I just really quickly, again, I just want to congratulate Katie Biore for your appointment to Sergeant Elementary Principal tonight. We're really excited to see what you accomplish, both in the near and far future, and congratulations. So we're really excited.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. Elena, comments or all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm in favor. Passes 6-0. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, you too. All right.